We're live.
We're live. Hey guys, it's Malik Lips Reptiles, and today is going to be another live egg cutting video. So what we have for you today is our killer bee bred to our lesser pastel. Or lesser, just lesser, sorry. It's killer bee to our lesser. Actually, take that back. I'm all confused. It actually is our lesser pastel male. I was trying to breed two females to our killer bee female. So, we're going to be cutting those eggs and sharing those with you. Let's take a peek. We are cutting, they haven't pipped yet, but we're going to be gone all day tomorrow, and that's their actual due date. And I wanted to share these with you. We're going to cut them. They are kind of my ugly duckling clutch of eggs. It's their first year. You can see they're kind of shriveled up. But let's go ahead and start getting to work, shall we? But you know I always like to disinfect me and my tools. We got anybody watching this thing yet?
Yeah, so far we're up to 22. Shout out to those of you who are saying hello from Illinois, and to Kyle and Dylan and Reese's and Lincoln Exotics and Pythons typing in and chiming in. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, and before we get started, there is one other thing I want to share with you guys. We are starting a new social media endeavor called Patreon. I don't know if you're familiar with how Patreon works, but we're going to post exclusive content with our videos on Patreon, so there'll be additional things to see that aren't on our YouTube on our Patreon. We also are going to give access to our babies, so first chance for sale will be to Patreon subscribers. So if you go to Patreon and you subscribe to us, when these babies are ready for sale, any other baby we produce, that'll be the first place they're made available, so subscribers will get a first chance to purchase. And if that Patreon can kind of grow enough that it can offset some of our costs, then we will be able to offer special deals to our Patreon subscribers with heavily discounted animals just for them. So go check out that Patreon. If it's something you're interested in, please do subscribe. It helps us out a lot. We've got multiple different levels and different things you get for that. It is a subscription-based service, but we'll still be doing YouTube videos. We're not going to stop doing this. We're going to keep this rolling. The Patreon will just offer additional content on top of the YouTube, along with some exclusive stuff. So,
and what you just said was that the snakes that you're cutting now are going to be available to Patreon subscribers exclusively first, correct?
Right. They'll be made available to everybody, but typically we've taken reservations, and if you've got a reservation on an animal already with us, don't worry. That reservation's still good. We're still going to get those ready to ship and send them out to you. We're not changing anything we've done in the past. But from now forward, any animal we have, the only time we'll take a pre-reservation on it is through a Patreon subscriber. So that's one of the benefits you get, is you kind of get a chance to pre-reserve an animal, go ahead and pay for that, have it shipped to you as soon as it's ready, or otherwise we'll wait until they're at the shipping weight before we post them for sale anywhere else, whether that's through YouTube or our Facebook. So it'll be, the only way to get access to them early will be through Patreon. Alright, let's go ahead and start this cutting. Let's see what we have, and like I say, I won't know exactly what's in here when we first cut these. It's going to be kind of a guessing game. Of course, the prize of the clutch would be a killer queen bee. This is about day 54, if anybody's curious about when we're cutting.
Is the Bell or Pied clutch ready just yet?
They are not. They are getting close. The bells are just now hatched out, so they still have to eat. Oh, look at that.
Hold on. I'm having a hard time doing the light and the camera.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. Could that be a killer?
Oh, yeah, easily. Not sure what that is. Probably is. That very well may be a killer bee in there.
Oh, my gosh. Awesome.
Well, the killer bee odds are pretty high in this. Everything's a 1 in 8 clutch, and we can't make any normals because the killer bee we use for breeding is a super pastel spider. So the lowest thing we can make is be a straight up pastel.
Yep, and Joseph, I did see your question about incubator setup. If you want to go back into our videos, we actually have, I think, an incubator setup video, but
how we built
it, how we went about not only setting up the tub that you see here, but our actual refrigerator incubator as well.
It's gonna be like a lesser pastel there. Yeah.
And just to kind of repeat that to those of you who are asking,
could be a super pastel.
You think that's a super pastel?
Possible. Look how blush it is on the sides. We'll be able to see when it comes out.
Hop on Patreon, because that's your way to be able to get a subscription to be able to have your opportunity to reserve first.
Yep. We'll do an
Congratulations to DER Reptiles. Very exciting that you cut your first clutch today. Big shout out to you.
And what we'll do is we'll do a clutch update video here and probably on Patreon at the same time. And when we do that clutch update, so they'll be ready for pre-reservation.
You know, Mitchell, we're not going to rule out Texas, but what we are going to tell you is that all three of us, Camera Guy Kurt, me, Question Girl, and Matt, we all have day jobs.
Oh, look at that.
So part of the Patreon opportunity is to help allow... Is that another... Look at the blushing.
That's probably a super pastel.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I do. Let me do a happy dance.
Wow. So Mitchell, will probably at some point in time get to Texas, but again, Patreon will allow us the opportunity to make that happen faster. You know what, William? We might just be able to show you Zeus a little bit later. I believe he's in shed at the moment.
He is in shed. He is. I'll probably do an update on him when he's done shedding.
And Krista, the price range for these little guys is going to just kind of vary based upon what we hatch, if it's male or female, etc.
Looks good too.
When's Grandpa coming back? You know what? Honestly, not quite sure. Kind of depends on what's going on in Grandpa's life. He is about 6 hours away from us.
Yeah, Grandpa's travel schedule is on his own, so... tell you what, though, he's one cool dude, man. I don't know many people his age that still get out and do as much as he does and is willing to try new things still. Wasn't that long ago we put him in his first high-end go-kart, went go-kart racing. And even after that, just about a year or two ago, the guy was in his mid-80s, we took him ziplining, so he's kind of a rock star in my book.
Yeah. And babe, how are the Atrox projects going?
Going pretty good. That's strange.
Sorry.
Okay.
What's strange?
Well, I don't see anything on that snake.
What? Hold on. I'm trying to, like, hold the light, too.
I know. I'm going to cut just a little more.
Hey, Christopher. Thanks for the shout-out. I appreciate it. Question Girl doesn't always get much love.
What the hell is that? Guys, I don't know what that is. That looks almost like an all-white snake, which isn't possible in this clutch. I have no... I mean, that's its back. We'll have to wait till that... That's... I don't know what that is. I'm stumped.
I don't know. And Christopher, hit Matt up on Facebook through Olympus Reptiles, our business page. We might be able to arrange that.
It is interactive. I mean, it is reacting to touch. So I was almost worried it was a deceased snake that was underdeveloped. But... maybe.
You know what? I believe it's pronounced Amai. I greatly appreciate your kind words about
reaction. So yeah, it's fine.
These
and
videos.
You can see some pattern right there. Do you see that? Ghosted in there. Weird. Yeah. Very, very weird animal. I don't know what that is. Again, some of these babies are things I've never seen as hatchlings, so it's kind of a guessing game right now. But that one has me excited. Very, very, very excited.
And the lesser was the female, correct? When you were breeding?
Lesser Pastel was the male. The Killer Bee was the female. And I bred that Killer Bee myself, so I do know there's nothing else hiding in there. That's cool. Look at the head on that. See that? Yeah. That's got probably lesser in it too. We've done really good on hitting lessers, like, and that male has done that. He is the same daddy to our bell clutch. Same daddy.
Well, William, Malfoy, oh man.
What are we
It's
talking
not
about
necessarily a god or goddess, and part of Olympus Reptiles is making sure that our reptiles are named after gods and goddesses, because one of our slogans is own the gods.
Oh, there it is. This is the lowest thing we can make right here. And that's a pastel. That's cool. We got one pastel.
Kurt, I hope you're enjoying dinner. And
is that our Kurt?
Yep. And Kurt, enjoy the rolls at Texas Roadhouse, and ask Jen if she's going to ride the horse out there.
Is it her birthday?
I don't know, but she should totally ride the horse.
That's what Kurt's saying about later.
Behave.
There we go. Check that out. Okay, guys, you know what the weird thing is? I do not think we hit...
Not while I'm trying to film.
And we're coming back. Hey, there we're back. Woo! Okay, I'll give that back to Question Girl there. And I don't know what happened. This is the only one that has a chance of having the killer that I see spider. Like, I don't see spider in any of these otherwise. You know, not really seeing spider. That's an interesting snake, too. This one, if anybody has a clue, I mean, the genes at play are lesser, pastel, pastel, spider, pastel. There's 3 pastel genes, so it could get 2, but I don't know what that is. Like, you know, really cool. That's a cool looking snake, but I don't think we hit the killer queen bee, unless, well, yeah, it might have spider in it actually. Yeah, it does. Maybe. No, maybe not. I can't tell until it's out. We'll look. We will look, and we'll figure it out from there. All right, guys, that is about it for this egg cutting. I know we did have a request. We put the lid back on there to see Zeus. I'll show you Zeus as long as you understand he is in the shed. And so he kind of does look like junk right now. He also hates everybody. He is a very, very little hateful snake.
You know what, Polo Kid, at this point, we are not using Morph Market.
We're not. You can see us get some light on him.
Yeah.
You can see Hector, he still looks really good. I mean, this is him in shed, so.
Yeah, and Hector, we don't have a website. We use Facebook.
We are working on it. We'll get one made eventually. And he'll clean up all this darkness. It kind of looks, you know, dirty right now. Part of that's because of the shed. Like, he literally just, you can see the eyes are still milky there. And that's why he's also such a little pissy man. Get that light away. He's going to bite it. So, we're going to go ahead and put him back up because he is angry. And, whoop. You can see, same way we handle all those angry pythons. Really nice and gentle. No issue whatsoever. Put him back in there and close him back up. All right, is there any questions we need to address?
Any starting traits for beginning breeders?
Starting traits?
Yep.
I mean, you got to breed what you like. I'm a huge fan of Pastel and Spider together. You know, I love bumblebees. I just do. I also think throwing in a recessive trait to your projects is always good. If you're going to do 2 projects, you can't ever go wrong with Pied. I think Lesser is a great snake to start with. It makes a lot of pretty combos. Plus, it has a Super Lesser with the bells, which I have all shed out. I'll show you the one I'm not going to make available. Knocking stuff over. This is our personal bell we're going to keep right here. And you can just see how really pretty those things are, you know.
It's having a hard time. There we go.
Just gorgeous animal.
Yep.
Completely gorgeous animal. So, I mean, doesn't look like it's took its first feed yet.
Yep. And Dylan, our names on Facebook are Olympus Reptiles.
Yep, it's Olympus Reptiles and everything. Facebook here and also on the Patreon. So, all right, guys. Well, unless Question Girl has any questions for me.
I think that's it. So now is it patreon.com, patreon.org?
You Google Patreon, it'll come up. Patreon, what it is it's a website that's been designed and it's built for the creators. So here's the thing, I'll be straight up honest with you as she quits knocking stuff over with that board. When we do YouTube, you know, YouTube does pay us. They don't allow us to say what they pay us, but it's not a huge amount. We make a little bit of extra money. Basically, with YouTube, I can buy my litter for my snakes and maybe cover a little bit of electrical costs for them. So it helps to offset all of that tremendously. And that wasn't why we got into doing the videos. We wanted to share this with you. But Patreon, it's a much tighter knit community, so I don't expect to have as many subscribers there, although I'd love to as we do on YouTube. But we get to be more interactive with you because we're going to have less of you. We'll be able to actually send you stuff. If you look at the levels of it, it's even built in where we'll guarantee certain things at certain levels that we'll send you or be able to do for you. We'll be able to respond to questions and comments probably a little bit easier on Patreon. It's going to let me write a blog as well, so we'll have a written word of kind of our experiences. Let us post pictures of certain animals as well if we want them to all be on the Patreon. And since it's built by creators, their rate of what we get is a lot higher than what YouTube is. Now, it's not because we want to do a complete cash grab or anything like that. What it really is about is the more we can generate through our social media, then the more we can do with our animals, the more equipment we can purchase, the more different morphs we can purchase to play with, and the more really neat and amazing content that we can bring to you, and more we can travel and we can share these things and possibly help us get to the point quicker that we can just do this, where I'll spend my time traveling place to place to place with these snakes. So that's what I really want to do. That's why we decided to start it. So, and that's what Patreon really is. It's a site built by creators for creators. So that's kind of what we're shooting for. So go check it out. And like I said, I don't want to say you have to. I mean, we're still going to be here. We're still going to be putting information on YouTube. We're not going to change that. I want a lot of that to be free. But the Patreon, because it is a subscription service, there's going to be additional information on there, additional videos on there, and additional access on there. Plus added access to our animals and what we produce. We want it to be a benefit for subscribers, not just a benefit for us. So that's that. Is there any other questions? It's probably patreon.com, but if you Google it, it'll pop up. Or if you ask Siri, it might.
Yeah, have you paired any of the Atrox yet?
The Atrox, we're not really pairing them just yet. Reason being is my female who's back there, and she's starting to get dark, going to a shed cycle herself. You know, she's just getting of size. And then two, what we'll need is we need some stuff from the USDA before we're allowed to really pair those for breeding purposes. So what we're kind of waiting on is, you know, we talked about building that zoo. We're waiting on the red tape there from the bank, the red tape there from the city, getting the equipment, and getting the USDA in there to give us the thumbs up. And at that point, then we can really go full force into our Atrox pairing projects. So working on it. We're working on it because I do want to work on proving that red genetic. I think it will be, but I don't know until we actually breed it. It'll be very, very interesting, and I personally can't wait to see what it does. So trust me, it's on my list of things to do, but I gotta like trudge through the government crap. So.
Yep. And Hector, you're wanting to know about buying a snake. Again, Patreon is where all of these are going to be posted exclusively first.
How it's going to work, because Patreon's not a for sale site. You guys know we do,
excuse me, sorry.
We do clutch update videos after we do these cutting videos, which like we're about to start filming some of those for the pied clutch and for, you know, the bell clutch and those sort of things. And when those videos come out, they'll come out here. We'll probably do a little bit extra with it on Patreon. And when that hits Patreon, then if you want to reserve it, you'd be able to go, tell me you want to reserve it, you know, put that down payment down, and then it's yours. And we're not going to take that from anywhere else other than Patreon subscribers. And with Patreon, I know who's a subscriber, I know who's not, because you put your email in there. So you'll be able to email, we'll be able to email back and forth. I can check and see, hey, this is one of our Patreon subscribers, and they're doing extra to support us in our dreams. So I want to give them a little extra to help them out as well. If that Patreon grows to a certain point that there's actually an income on it that can really, really help us, then what we'll start doing is taking animals that we produce and offering them at extreme, I'm talking like extreme discounts on Patreon only, where you can get an animal for probably half the cost of what it should be shipped to your door. But that's only possible when Patreon gets to a certain level that it's helping us out to the point that I'm allowed to do that. So I can put really cool snakes out there into people's hands for a lot less money. So that's something else I want to do. But that'll only be available to our Patreon subscribers. And that'll take a while. We got to grow that first. Like, that's not going to be tomorrow, and it's not going to be next month. But these being pre-orders will be available as soon as that video is out on Patreon and nowhere else. So if you're not a Patreon subscriber, I won't be able to take a pre-order. You have to pick it up at a show or pick it up when I post it on my Facebook because it's ready. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you guys understand why we're doing it that way. We want to make them available to all, but we're going to have to take care of those people who choose to support us as well. So, all right, guys. Any other questions?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to tease out the egg. And again, I don't know about you. I have a question for you guys. If you know what that is, if any of you out there have been doing some breeding and you've seen something like that come out of that type of pairing, please, by all means, let me know, because I am curious as can be. You know, very, very curious. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.
All right. Thank you.